Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to render 3D models in Expo React Native. So for Android we will be rendering GLTF models, and for iOS we will be using USDZ models. So just like images have different types like PNG, JPEG, WebP, 3D models also have different types. So for Android we will be using GLTF, and for Apple we will be using USDZ. So let's get started. So firstly we will have to create an Expo project. For this you can refer to this particular documentation. Now I will be using this blank TypeScript template because that gives minimum boilerplate code, and we don't have to worry too much about other external libraries being installed. That's why I'm using blank TypeScript template, but you can use whatever template you prefer, so it's up to you. So I will just copy this particular command for blank TypeScript template, and I will go to my workspace directory and just paste it. Now this will create an app for me, so let's just wait for a second. So I'll just name it as my app, name it whatever you feel like. Now I'm not using any third-party React Native libraries. I will be writing native code. I know there is one library which is based on the native Android library Filament. We will be using Android Filament library, but with native code. I know there is one library which is created in React Native which uses Filament both for Android and iOS. We will be using the Android Filament library only for Android. For iOS we will be using SceneKit because that is the recommended way by Apple, and I did found there were a lot of bugs for Filament on iOS specifically. That's why I'm not using it for Filament. For Android it is pretty good because the creator of Filaments are Android engineers themselves. So okay, so my app is created. I will just cd into my app, and I will also open it in VS Code. So here you can see this is my app. Okay, now here you can see there are no Android and iOS folders, so we need to create those folders. So for that you can go to this particular documentation. So first select Android, and here select development build. I have disabled ES because I will be building it locally and not on cloud. Select your operating system. Now I have already done all this setup, so if you are doing it for the first time you will have to do all this setup. So install Android Studio and all that stuff. I have already done that. So I'll just scroll down, and we have to run this particular command. So I'll just copy this command and I'll paste it over here. I will run it. Now again this will take little bit of time. Let it be. Once that command is done, we'll have to copy this particular command. Hopefully it should be done pretty soon. Okay, so it's done. Now I will copy this command. So this will basically create an Android folder for me. Now it is asking me for a package name. I'll just keep it as default. I'll just click on enter, and now it will create an Android folder. Here you can see it has created an Android folder for me. So once it has created an Android folder for me, it might throw an error. Here you can see it is throwing an error because I don't have an Android emulator installed, and I have not connected my real device via USB to my laptop. I will do it at the very end once I have written all the code. I also make sure you run this on a real device because you might get some weird results on the emulator. That's why I don't like the emulator. Okay, so this is done for Android. For iOS you will just have to select iOS device. Again select your operating system. I have already done installed Xcode. I have already done all this stuff as well. We have run this command for Android, so we don't need to run this for iOS. If you want you can run it again, but we just have to run this particular command. So I'll just copy it and I'll paste it over here. Again it will ask me for bundle identifier. I'll keep it as default. I'll click on enter, and again now this might take little bit of time. Okay, so just be patient. In the meantime what you can do is just open Android Studio, because we need to open the folder, Android folder. So this Android folder which you see of our Expo project in Android Studio, because we need to do some stuff from Android Studio as well. So I will just click on open, and I will navigate to my Expo project. And here is my Android folder. I'll click on open. Now again this Gradle syncing will take little bit of time, so be patient. Yeah, this might installing CocoaPods for iOS will also take little bit of time, so be patient. Okay, next let's wait for the CocoaPod installation to finish. But I want to tell you guys one thing, is that I have created one sample project, like a practice project for myself before recording this video, and I will be copying a lot of code from that, because it's very difficult to remember all this code by myself. So first, okay, so the Android part is almost done. Okay, so okay, let's see. First let's open app.tsx. Okay, and here I have few links which I will quickly open, because we need to download the 3D model for Android iOS, as well as I need to show you guys some documentation as well. So just firstly open this documentation. I will quickly explain it to you. So this is the GLTF model, 3D model. Obviously you can't see it over here, but this is the 3D GLTF model, which we will use to display it on Android. Okay, now GLTF models are not directly supported on iOS, that's why I can't use this model for iOS. There is a third-party library which allows it, but I don't want to get into that. Maybe I'll make a separate video on how to display a GLTF model for iOS, but currently we will follow what Apple recommends, that is USDZ model. So what you will have to do, you will have to download this. So just click on this download raw file. I have already downloaded it in my practice project, so I'll just copy it from that. So yeah, just download this particular file. Okay, once you download that, for iOS you will have to go to this particular documentation. So I'll just open that as well. So here you can see, don't download this, download this 3D models. You can select any one of this. Also for GLTF there are other 3D models as well, so choose whatever you feel like. But at least for if you're doing this for the very first time, I would recommend to download this fox.glb, because I want to show you guys animation as well. Animation I will show it only for Android. I couldn't really figure it out for iOS. So yeah, I mean, if you go to this 2.0 folder, here you can see there are bunch of GLB models. So make sure you download GLB, like GLTF binary, something like this. There are other formats of GLTF as well, but yeah, don't worry too much about it. But if you are doing it for the very first time, just follow what I'm doing. Download this fox GLB. Okay, and I have already downloaded, like I told you. And here you can download any of these models. I have already downloaded it, so just click on it and it will download it for you. Okay, next here I want to show you guys the documentation as well. So this is the Filament library which I was talking about. This we will be used for Android for rendering 3D models. Also for Android we require few more things as well which you need to download. So you will have to go to this particular documentation, and you will have to download these three files, this skybox, IBL, Venetian, Crossroads. So why these are used is because we need to display some background image inside our 3D view as well. Otherwise our 3D model will be extremely black, and you might get confused that why this is not getting displayed. So make sure you go in each one of them and just click on this download raw file. I have already downloaded it, so just click over here, download this, click over here. Again, this is only for Android. For iOS we don't really require it. Okay, so make sure you download this as well. Okay, hopefully my CocoaPod setup is done. I won't run it on a real device now. I'll just do Ctrl+C. Now we will have to go to this particular documentation to add a native model to an existing application. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. Again, this might take a little bit of time, so be patient. It will ask me for my module name. Again, you can give whatever name you feel like. I'll just keep everything as default. I'll click on enter, and again it will download the npm module for us. Now for iOS, again we have to run this particular command, so I'll just copy it and I'll paste it over here. When I will click on enter, now again it will do CocoaPod installation. Let it be. Okay, now So this is the app.ts of my practice project, right? I will open the app.tsx of my real project as well. So project which I have just created, I'll open it on the right hand side. So firstly we will have to import our module view. So here you can see it has created this modules folder, right? Inside that like Expo already creates a module view for us, so that's what the name is. So here you can see this is the module view, for same for iOS as well, module view. That's how I'm importing it. We'll have a look at the implementation later on. So I'll just copy it and I'll paste it over here. Okay, next what we have to do is, so this is our module view. Just like any React component, this is the module view. Again, it depends on what module name you given. I have just given it as my module, that's why it is named as my module view. So I'll just copy this, okay, and I'll paste it over here. All right, now okay, I'll just scroll over here just so that you can see the actual code. Now firstly I have to import this platform. So here if you remember, this was the name of my glb file, fox.glb. okay, if you have downloaded a different glb file from the documentation from the GitHub repo, make sure you change that name. And for iOS I am using this toy drummer. Okay, but if you have downloaded all these other files, make sure whatever is the name of the file and you add it over here. Okay, so be careful with that. Then I will just remove this text. I really don't need this, and I'll make sure I get the width and height of the device. So I can just use Windows dimensions. Okay, and I'll just use this width comma height. Okay, now here everything is fine. This URL prop it doesn't know. We have to tell it where exactly it will get that URL prop. So what I'll do, I'll just remove this. Okay, so we have to tell it from where it can get the URL prop. Okay, so I'll just, okay, sorry, just move it over. Okay, just move it something like this. Okay, so here we just need to tell from where it will get the URL prop. So URL is basically a string, right? So what you will have to do is you will have to go to your modules, go to index.ts, no, not index.ts, go to src here. So if you see, the default name is name. I don't want it to be a name. I want the prop to be as URL. So I'll just name it as URL. And if you see, the error is gone. Now there is an error for style. For that we have to append view props to this. So add view props. Okay, and if I save, again view props is imported from React Native. If I go to app.tsx, here you can see that issue is also resolved. Now coming to the Android implementation, again like I told you, I will just open my practice project and I'll go to Android because I need to copy some code. First I'll open build.gradle. So here we'll have to copy these two dependency. Now at the time of me recording, the latest dependency version is 1.54.5. you can get the latest version, see the latest version from over here, 1.54.5. whatever is the latest version at you watching this video, make sure you use that. I'll just copy this. I'll go to Android, build.gradle. I'll scroll down and I'll just paste it over here. Okay, all right, I'll just close everything. Again, this is our build.gradle. I'll just close it. Then again we have to go to src main, java, expo, modules, my modules. So here I will just open these two files, my module.kt and my module view.kt. okay, so firstly we'll have to go to src java my module.kt, and if you see my practice project, all I have done is that I have just changed the URL prop. So I'll just copy this code, and because the name of our prop was URL, right? So here you can see it is given the name is name, prop name is name. So I'll just remove it and I'll paste this. So we will get the URL prop from React Native side. The name of our view is my module view, and here we just call view.setup, pass our URL which we get from React Native side. So we have to define this setup method inside our my module view. Hopefully till here everything is clear. So I'll just close this. I'll close this. Now I have to open this my module view inside our project. So I will open my module view. Firstly I will copy all these imports. So just copy all these imports which I have. Okay, then I'll just save it. I'll just add this curly brace over here. I will try to explain, even I don't understand it entirely. I will try to explain as much as I can. First one is the animation index. I will come to animation later on. Now you will have to be extremely careful, like not all GLTF or GLB models have animations to it. So suppose if you are passing animations to a model which does not have any animations, your app might crash. That's why I told you to take that fox.glb model, because I know that GLB model has animations. I will also tell you how to check whether a model has animations or not. So I'll just copy this, and here the animation index starts from 0. I am playing the second animation, that's why the index is 1. Again, I'll come back to animations later on. So here to render 3D model, we require a surface view and occupying the entire width and height of the screen. So I'll just copy this, and now comes the tricky part. Even I don't understand all this stuff, what this is. So I'll just copy it. Here I know that given that the filament library C++, we have to initialize it something like this. I don't know what all this stuff is, so I'll just copy it because I don't want to give wrong information. If you want to learn more, you can definitely check the documentation for it. So hopefully till here everything has been okay for you. Then again I'll just go back to my practice project. Here we have to add some touch listener, and we have to override these two methods as well. Again, sorry, I don't understand all this stuff. Here I know we have added a touch listener, and we are adding overriding these two methods, attach on window, detach on window. I think this is for animations, post frame callback and remove frame callback. Again, I could be wrong because yeah, this is beyond my expertise. So here you can see we are defining that setup method, and we are assigning the model URL which we get from React Native site to our URL variable, and then we create this renderables, indirect light and configure viewer, all that stuff. So I'll just copy it and I'll paste it over here. Okay, then here again configure viewer, I don't know what this is, so I'll just copy it and I'll paste it over here. So this is the method configure viewer. Okay, then again we have to create this index. So here you can see that Venetian crossroad 2K I told you to download, right? I will tell you where exactly we have to, so this part I will tell you where exactly we have to add it. So I'll just copy it for now, this two, I'll paste it over here again. Then we will come over to create renderables. I'll copy it and I'll paste it over here again. Then we require this frame callback. Suppose if you are renderer, sorry, what I mean is your GLTF model does not have animation, you can, I think, remove this particular code. Okay, and I think yeah, you can remove this particular code, but yeah, I will let you know how to check whether a GLTF model has animations or not. So I'll just add this over here as well. So hopefully everything is clear till here. I'll simply scroll up in case if you have missed any code, and I'll simply scroll down. So if you want, you can pause the video wherever you feel like and copy paste all the code. Okay, so yeah, now we just have to tell this particular code where it can find that Venetian crossroad and all that particular files, right? So if you see over here, this is my practice project again. I'll go to the Android folder, inside app, src, main, assets. Here you can see I have added all the assets, the fox.glb model, src main, yeah. So this Venetian crossroad files as well. So I'll just copy it again. It should be for you inside the downloads folder. I'll go back to my real project. Sorry, this one is my real project, right? My app, Android app, src main, and here we will have to create the assets folder, and I'll just paste it over here. Previously I was trying to think of creating the assets folder from Android Studio, but I think you guys might got confused. That's why I just kept it from File Explorer itself. Okay, it is in the main folder, right? Let me quickly check it again. Android app src main. Yeah, so if you see my project view from VS Code, if I go to the main Android folder, app src main assets, here you should see all your assets. So hopefully till here everything is clear. So I think that's it for Android. Now coming back to the iOS part, again as usual. So for iOS, what I'll do is I'll just again go back to our app. So this is our app. Go to iOS, double click on the XC workspace. It will open it in Xcode. Yeah, so the pod installation is also done. Okay, next, in the meantime, we'll again go to my practice project, modules, my module, iOS, and here I will just open these two files as well. Okay, and I will just remove this. I'll just move it over here. Now firstly I will go to my module.swift. Again we have to change this to URL, right? So I'll just go to iOS, my module.swift, and I'll just copy this code and I'll paste it over here. We don't require the name prop, we have removed that. So here again the same thing, we'll get the URL from React Native and we will have to define this load 3D model from assets inside our my module view file. So this is done. Now this is my module view from my practice project. So again I'll just open this my module view. Firstly we'll have to add import. So here you can see I'm using SceneKit, so I'll just add that SceneKit import. Then we have to create this scn scene and then add that to our add as a sub view, and here we are setting the frames for it. Okay, so I'll just copy it. Then here you can see we are loading the model from assets. So once we have the model URI, we create a scene. Then this is for lightning so that our model can be visible. This is something called ambient light. Like even I am not really good at this. And here we are setting our background color and camera configuration. Yeah, even I don't know much about this, so I'll just copy it. And like iOS is pretty simple as compared to Android. Android is I think a lot more work. So yeah, that's it for iOS. So I'll just simply scroll up. Here you can see this is all the code for iOS. Okay, now you will have to again go to Xcode. So we have opened our app, right? Go to my app over here, and what I'll do is you will have to go to your downloads directory, because I think that is where your files are, the 3D model is. So here you can see this is in my practice project, this is my 3D model, right? So I'll just drag and drop it over here, and here it says copies files to destination. Yeah, I want to copy file to destination. Make sure that is checked, this is checked, and I'll click on finish. And so yeah, this is added. Yeah, I think Xcode has a pretty good this as well. We can actually see the 3D model as well. Okay, so I think that should be it. Let me quickly show you GLTF viewer. Okay, so like I told you, right, I wanted to see how many animations a GLTF model has. So you can open this particular thing online. Again I'll go back to my Android folder where my 3D model is, and I will just drag and drop this fox.glb over here, and here you can see it has rendered. This is our animation. Here you can see there are 3 animations, but like I told you, in Android the animation index starts from 0, and if you remember, inside my code I have kept the animation index as 1. That's why it will play the walk animation when I try to run my application. So if I click on walk, I will disable this survey. So here you can see, and there is this run animation as well. So I'll disable walk and I'll click on run. So here you can see, this is how you can know whether an GLTF model has animations or not. That is the easiest way according to me. Now yeah, that's it. I will quickly run the application and show you guys the output. Okay guys, so here you can see the output for Android. Now I'm doing like I'm connected via Wi-Fi debugging, that's why you might not see the animation properly, but if I try to rotate, I can like move with the help of my finger. I can rotate my fox again that is not getting updated on my device. I don't know why. Okay, let's wait a bit. So here you can see it has updated again. It runs perfectly fine on my real device, like 60 fps. It's just that I'm doing Wi-Fi debugging, like I have not connected via USB because my Mac does not support my Android's USB. That's why I've connected via Wi-Fi debugging, and that's why the output feels a little janky or laggy. But don't worry about it, run it on your own device, it will be pretty smooth. Also, if you remember, the animation index was 1, right? That's why we are seeing the walk animation. You can either make it 0 or 2 if you are using the Fox GLB model. Don't make it as 3, otherwise the app can crash, so you will have to be careful. Just like we are sending the URL from React Native side, you can also send the animation index from React Native side as well. The reason why I haven't shown you that is because I don't know how to do the animation for iOS. That's why, but hopefully you got the point for Android. Let's see the output for iOS. Okay guys, so as you can see, here is the output for iOS as well. So yeah, we can run it on a simulator as well. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.